Welcome everybody for the final time this season from Dove Valley. Jake Marsing here with Ryan Greene from 5280 Sports Network. Jake, a very somber day here. A big press conference announcing Gary Kubiak's resignation as head coach from the Denver Broncos. Just kind of, what are your thoughts?
You know, Ryan, I think you and I had talked about this weeks ago as being a possibility.
Right.
Going all the way back to the Atlanta game when he was taken away from the stadium in an ambulance. But to see it all come to fruition today, to see him say goodbye to his players, say goodbye to the media, say goodbye to his coaches, truly an emotional moment out here at Dove Valley, and one that this building I don't think was expecting, and one that they won't forget. Gary Kubiak has meant so much to this organization's history, to what this particular Broncos team is, what the Super Bowl 50 winning team was. Gary Kubiak has meant everything to the Denver Broncos, and to see him walk away today after a more than 3-decade career in the National Football League, certainly a somber moment, just as you put it.
Right. It was tough to watch just as a human being standpoint. You could just tell how much Kubiak really loved coaching, really loves this game, loves the players, loves the organization. So that was just tough, and I think that's what he'll be remembered as. I think he'll be, I think first and foremost he was a good coach, but in terms of what his impact to the Broncos was, he was just an incredible person for them. And I think that's what this building is going to miss most of all next year, just that energy of knowing Kubes is here, he's got our backs. That's what really is going to, that's what I felt sucked out of the room when he had the speech.
And just as a person who has been out here every day, Ryan, as you've been out here just about every day this season, being around Gary Kubiak, there are certain people in sports that you cover and you meet who have a certain energy about them.
Yeah.
Gary Kubiak's energy was of professionalism, of humility. That's the word that I keep coming back to. It is so rare to find coaches in the NFL who are as humble as Gary Kubiak is. Whoever the Broncos find to replace him will certainly not have that skill, at least to the level that he does. The Broncos losing an enormous piece of their history with Gary Kubiak stepping away for health reasons today.
Yeah. So, all right, where do they go from here? I mean, I know it's time to reflect really on the Kubiak era and the Super Bowl and all that stuff, but the Broncos have a lot of question marks going into 2017. We don't have to get into too much detail, but what would you say is the first thing on their list?
Two names to look out for immediately. The first priority of the organization is going to be finding a new head coach. Two names immediately on the horizon: Kyle Shanahan, the offensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons, and Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins. Joseph was someone that the Broncos and Elway interviewed for their technically for their head coaching position, but in reality for the defensive coordinator job when Kubiak was hired. They love Vance Joseph, and Vance Joseph is adored by his players in Miami. The only question with Joseph is one season as a coordinator enough to qualify you for a head coaching job, especially if you're going to have as much change and turnover as I expect this Broncos coaching staff to undergo. There is a chance, folks, that every single coach on this Broncos staff could be gone next season. There is the potential also that some stick around, but if I had to make my money, I would say that there is a likelihood that more are gone than stay. The second name, Kyle Shanahan. The Broncos have reportedly already reached out to Shanahan about an interview. That, of course, is going to be dependent on when the Falcons leave the postseason, just as much as the Dolphins with Vance Joseph. However, I do expect the Dolphins to have an earlier exit than the Falcons do. The question with Kyle Shanahan, Ryan, comes back to old wounds, scar tissue. The Shanahan family, not just Mike, but Kyle and some other members of the family included, that's deep-seated. The way that Mike Shanahan left the Broncos in the last few years of his tenure here made things extremely difficult for him to have a relationship with the organization. That extends to his son. So will the Broncos, fascinating question, will the Broncos, CEO Joe Ellis, General Manager and EVP John Elway, be able to put those things to the side and bring in a talented, young, dynamic head coach who would be a perfect fit for this personnel, this system, and would have a scheme that is close to the Kubiak offense if even a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more flexible. Kyle Shanahan, if I was a Broncos fan, I would be thrilled about the idea of him coming here. The question is, can the organization put those egos to the side and make it happen?
Right. A lot of question marks going forward. We'll be there when they're answered at 5280 Sports Network. As always, we got Nuggets, we got Avs. We'll have draft stuff coming from this guy, and of course we'll have Nate, Sean, Rich, Matt, all of them.
Can I give you a name?
Content. Oh,
Can I give you a name? If the Broncos stick with the zone blocking offense, Chad Wheeler, left tackle, USC.
you're high on it, man. That's
I love
now.
this kid.
That's 2
Love
steals
this
in a
kid.
row.
Oh, did I talk about him last time? I gotta stop. I gotta stop. Hey,
Let's fill the beans.
before we get out of here, just want to again, Gary Kubiak. What a guy.
Yeah.
What a great guy. What a great person to be around. Great person to cover. I will certainly miss seeing him around the building.
Yep.
I know you will too, Ryan. So.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so for Jake Marsing, I'm Ryan Greene. Check everything out at 5280sportsnetwork.com and the YouTube channels and our Twitters, all of that stuff. We'll see you later.